Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Good morning, viewer. It's Inside Nigeria for Tuesday. Of course, I welcome you on board as usual. With me, I have my regular co-host, Winifred Ogbebo.
Good morning, viewers out there, and the here is wishing you Eid Malud.
Happy Eid Malud and happy holiday at home.
Yes.
But we are here at work for your service.
And also, it's a pleasure to have you on set today, Bode.
Yeah, thank you.
Yesterday you were unavoidably.
Yes, I was unavoidably absent. Today I'm back on the show. Well, today we have a new guest debuting on Inside Nigeria. Gidado Yushe Shohai. Gidado, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Good morning.
Gidado is the editor, the News Digest, an online newspaper based in Abuja here. We hope to see more of you.
Yeah, by the grace of God.
And of course, and as usual, viewers, we're starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, bad roads everywhere, despite 1.12 trillion allocation in 5 years. Bad roads everywhere, despite 1.12 trillion allocation in 5 years. We suffer frequent vehicle breakdowns, attacks at failed spots, according to transporters. Our roads are now death traps. Kidnappers haven't, say passengers. Government doing its best to fix highways. Controller of works declare. Gidado, I know you are not an engineer, but as a public affairs analyst,
Yes.
you know what is happening.
Yes.
So, what is your take on this?
I think the situation of Nigeria roads is something that worries everybody. Like, Nigeria is a very beautiful country, very diversified. We have a good expanse of land cutting across different parts, the north, south, east, and west. But when you look at the situation of certain things, such as our roads, it's alarming. I think it's necessary for us to think about it this time and call for government to call for a state of emergency on our roads.
On the roads.
Because it's very alarming when you continue to see accidents happening. You're traveling and you see a truck dying on your road, and suddenly the whole road is automatically a grid block.
Yeah.
So you see, so some type of situations have led to people's loss of life where you're traveling and suddenly you're stuck somewhere for so long, no food in the bush. Do you understand? And we're seeing the security situation on the other hand. So I think it's necessary for us to look for a way to try to fix our roads. And another thing that is necessary is that this is the time for us to go for true federalism, whereby regions and councils can take responsibility for their roads.
Exactly.
The roads are too big. Some of the major, most deplorable, the bad roads in the states now or in Nigeria majorly are those which are owned by the federal government.
Exactly.
And we're seeing the paucity of funds. Nigeria currently runs an economy which is purely based on recurrent expenditure, not capital expenditure, that reflect the true help in building industries and roads. And eventually, if our roads, our electricity, our water continue to deteriorate, we'll continue to see situations whereby investments can come. Nobody wants to bring a business to a society whereby you have to buy a generator, you have to buy jeeps that can roll on the road, and you still have a security situation. So I think it's necessary for us to try to find a lasting situation to the situations of our road, if not to continue to see some of this type of. And even Nupeng sometimes have also complained and even threatened the strike. And the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, have called the minister at some point, Minister Fashola, that he should make sure that he fixed the whole roads. But we have to also think about it. That what about the situation of the country? What's the paucity of funds? Do we have liquid cash as we used to?
Regularly, you can see that 1.12 trillion was allocated to the sector in 5 years. That is a huge amount of money. And we don't have a result for it, probably because of corruption.
Yes. And another thing that we also need to look into is the fact that there's a difference between allocation and capital,
the cash
backing for it. So, like, if this money if it's just allocated in budget in bogus figures and the cash are not available for it, then you see there's definitely going to be a problem, and we all need to make sure that we have monitoring and evaluation in this country. When a contract is awarded, let's have like a tracking system to check the capacity of this type of road. Because what we see majorly is that we give big contracts to politicians, and eventually they use the money for campaign and they'll just do anything, shabby contract for the road. So these are some of the situations we find ourselves at.
Too bad. But in order to get more insight on this story, we have been joined by engineer M.O. Ibrahim, a civil engineer based in Kaduna. Good morning, engineer M.O. Ibrahim.
How are you? Good morning.
I'm fine.
Good morning.
Kaduna
is very fine.
Now, good. You saw the story we were talking about. You are a civil engineer. Give us an insight into the state of our road and why we are where we are today.
First of all, we need to understand that road construction, road business in short, construction, maintenance, and all that needs a lot of money. It's not a business of just doing it anyhow or bringing very meager allocations to do the jobs. So what we have also always advocated is that there must be adequate funds to fund the construction in the first place and to continue to maintain, because that's what we call design lifetime. And even within the design lifetime, you have to be maintaining the roads. And then in some cases, these roads are constructed in such a way that we will just be constructing for a short time, so that maybe when we have funds, we can do the other things that are necessary. In short, some of the roads were not constructed to last for a very long time. So before you know it, these roads become bad, and they go beyond what government allocates in their budgetary allocations and so on and so forth. So the real problem is that we don't have enough, or government doesn't have enough money to fund the construction and maintenance of our roads, whether it is the local government roads, whether it is the state roads, whether it is the federal government roads. All the government tires do not have adequate money for constructing and maintaining our roads. That is the simple truth about the situation of our roads. Of course, the government will do all it can, because it must show political will, it must show some political concern, it must show them, and so on and so forth. But the truth remains that they have to accept that there are no funds to fund all the construction of our roads. There are no funds to maintain all the our roads in the country. Recent studies have shown that you need trillions on a sustained basis for several years before you can even maintain these roads. So there must be a way out, and as we continue to discuss, we have suggestions as professionals as to how we can actually stem the deteriorating situation of our roads. Hello.
All right, engineer. Okay. Before I allow you to go, we have a two-in-one question for you again. You talk about paucity of funds. Our guests in the studio also talk about lack of adequate money to construct good roads and maintain them. So, as a civil engineer, I know you must have been involved in road construction across the country. So, can you tell us how much do we need as a country to construct good roads and maintain them? Because we need this infrastructure to drive our economy. So, how much do we need to construct our road and maintain them? And what are the other ways forward to out of this long jump?
No, that is what I was trying to say, that we need in trillions. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying, trillions of naira to even maintain what we have as at now. And that maintenance does not mean that we won't need anything in the next 5 years. So it is going to run into trillions. As a matter of fact, when you are constructing a road, first of all, you have what we call design. That design gives you the material that will do the work, the length of the job itself, what it needs to be done, the nitty-gritty, and so on and so forth of the protocol to follow before the road becomes a road that can be used. So, and that document comes out with its cost. So, what has been done really is that an estimate has been done, and what has been estimated is that you don't need anything less than 2 trillion naira every year for us to maintain the roads we have as of now. We're not talking of new roads for now. We're talking of the roads that we have now, especially federal roads, that run across the country, about 35,000 kilometers in length. Some of them are 6 dual carriages and so on and so forth. So we need at least 2 trillion, for example, every year to maintain these roads so that they can be motorable and people can have a sweet drive over the country. Hello.
Thank you so much, engineer.
Yes. So that is number one. So I don't know whether I've answered that question about how much do we need. It's in trillions, and
Exactly.
like I
Exactly.
told you, minimum of 2 trillion would just be for the maintenance of roads. So what government is
Every year.
allocating as of now? Yes, every year. And what government is
Okay.
allocating is now, okay, somebody has already mentioned it. It's nothing to compare to these trillions that we're talking about. So we have to find a way. What we are advocating as professionals is that we have to find a way of getting these monies to do the maintenance and to even construct new roads. I don't know
Okay,
whether I
thank you
can
so
go
much.
ahead about suggesting
What
about
do you
what we
think
can do.
government?
Hello?
Hello.
I don't know whether I can make further suggestions on how we can
Exactly.
actually.
Go
Yes,
ahead,
that
sir.
is what I was about to ask you.
Yes. So what we can do is we have suggested for a road agency. Road agency that is not controlled by government per se, but which has statutory backing from government and the National Assembly for its existence. And that National Road Agency is going to be given the responsibility to source for money anywhere it can. And what we're actually saying is that this agency can be set up in such a way that people who are interested in constructing new roads or people who are interested in maintaining old roads can be invited. And we saw a kind of partnership that can be worked out under the supervision of this agency. And then they can go ahead and do all it takes to get source for the funds and do the construction itself and to even
Oh, it's
maintain
very
the
good.
road. Yes. So in a roadside or a common man's language, what we are saying is that we can toll the roads. We can allow people to toll the roads, and then an agreement can be worked out in such a way that what is what has been collected from these tolls can be used for constructing new roads and can be used to maintain old roads. But the nitty-gritty, the details, this agency will be given the responsibility to work it out with whoever is interested in doing the PPP arrangement.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay,
don't have
we
any
should ask
question.
you. Okay,
All right. I
but
think
okay, just one question from my end, as
Yes,
everybody insisted. Do you think the government has the political will to fix our roads?
yes, they are doing their best. Like I said, if you don't have money, and they are politicians, the government officials are the ministers, the all that they are politicians. They won't tell you that we can't do this. They will tell you, yes, we are doing our best. In fact, money has been allocated, so work will soon start. That is the language you continue to hear. But the truth of the matter is that the money that is required for these works are not there. Government doesn't have them. So government has to seriously look into how those monies can be got. And the simple way to do it is to toll the roads. Toll the road. When you build a road, you toll it. But this agency we are talking about will regulate how much, for example, those people who are doing the jobs can collect from motorists or drivers. And then if there is a fair way of that, they put it into law. When you are going, for example, from Kaduna to Abuja, you find toll gates in say about 3 or 4 places, and then you pay. You use your ATM. You don't give any money raw cash. You put your ATM in the ATM machine that installed in the toll gates, and you are allowed to pass to wherever you want to go to. And then there are also way bridges. If you bring a trailer that contains a lot of material in it and your goods or whatever to any place, they weigh your vehicle and you pay accordingly. And that is how it is done everywhere in the sane or saner societies that we used to call. In America, in England, in all those places, you don't find government going deeply into just bringing money and constructing road, and through, you have even the bureaucracy in this country. if you bring money that may do a certain road or even just one road, before it gets to that road, there may be so many pipelines or whatever that, so that at the end of the day, you don't even get the results. So, but if you allow an independent agency like the one we are advocating to come into place, and then you give it all the necessary support by law and all that, and then they actually make the arrangements for these people that we're talking about. You see what government will even get from there. They can do other roads that may not be economically viable for PPP and all that and all that.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer M.O. Ibrahim, a civil engineer based in Kaduna. We so much appreciate your thoughts this morning on the issue of the issue of the state of our roads. Thank you very much, and we hope to see more of you on Inside Nigeria here at the Leadership Television. Thank you so much, Engineer.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, Gidado, we need to move to the rest of the paper, and for want of time, we have to show you the rest at the same time. Then we hear from you your comments. Now, you can see what is on the front page of this Punch. APC convention under threat. Aggrieved party members cite ruling against Buni. APC convention under threat. Aggrieved party members cite ruling against Buni. Buni's panel not recognized by law. Activities will be illegal, according to Ekiti Group. We informed the National Secretariat about our Congress, says Lagos for Lagos. Lagos for Lagos is another pressure group within the APC. And of course, the last rider on the Punch story is saying Keyamo's group heads for appeal court against Omo Agege's faction, from the last weekend APC convention. Let's see what is on the front page of the next paper again. Winifred?
Yes, the nation. On Nation, it says insecurity orders. U.S. joins forces with Nigeria. Insecurity orders. U.S. joins forces with Nigeria. We are pushing back insecurity, says Buhari. 6 more Super Tucano jets in. That's on Nation.
On the Nation's and of course, the last paper on our menu, the THISDAY Gidado, is another security story. Bandits massacre 40 in Sokoto market. Buhari declares total war. Bandits massacre 40 in Sokoto market. Buhari declares total war. Gidado, let's start from reverse gear. The last paper backward. Buhari has been declaring war. We have not been seeing the end of the war. What is happening? And people are dying every day.
First things first is the fact that we're still declaring bandits as bandits when they're clearly terrorists.
Does it matter?
Yes,
Criminal is criminal.
Yeah.
Can't you just fight him whether the name is bandit or the terrorist?
I think first thing is that once there's a political will, once they've been spotlighted to be terrorists, then people will take them as serious. If you keep calling them bandits, they just sound like headsmen who are parading in the streets. But when you say they're terrorists,
they look like ordinary criminals.
They look like bandits, they come out as ordinary criminals. When you title them as terrorists, then you know that something serious needs to be done. Like, see what happened in Sokoto, for instance. Some reports even have it about 60.
Yes.
And now 40 happening in every part of the country. Killings by the day. Do you understand? And this is going to affect the level of productivity of Nigerians. People will no longer go to farm. Insecurity will be the order of the day. The market will not be booming. Going to farm has become a challenge. Nigeria, which used to be a food basket of the country, is seeing a deterioration when it comes to food. We're seeing what's happening in Benue and other parts of the country. So I think if the first things first is that, just as the House of Representatives and Senate have said, let them put them under the Terrorism Act. Let the government put more political will, and let's make sure that we see. Another issue that affects this thing is about the issues of informants. These people can't just attack people without having an inside knowledge about what is happening. So, like, it needs to be a collaborative effort between government and the citizen. And it's necessary for government to also make sure that they establish a level of trust with the people. If the people don't have believability in the government and no longer trust them, they will definitely resort to some other people for support. And these terrorists, on the other hand, in some parts of the country, are saying that they're giving a livelihood to some people in some communities. In some communities, for instance, where they've never had or felt of government impact before, now terrorists are going there and they're giving. There was a story in Yobe, for instance, where a terrorist was giving them 20,000 naira, for instance. And those are people who likely haven't seen 2,000 or 3,000 naira before. So I think it's necessary for government to put hands together, let us harmonize all our approaches and find a way to find the lasting solutions to them.
Now, finally, Gidado, what is your take on the happenings on the political scene, particularly as it affects the ruling All Progressive Party. You know, the fallout of the last weekend state congress.
Yes. We saw what happened. In Oyo, for instance, there was no convention.
There was no congress, it
There
was
was no
postponed.
congress. And in Kano, for
Osun
instance,
State.
we're seeing the two factions.
The Shekaro and the
So,
Ganduje.
Shekaro and Ganduje.
Osun, we have the Aregbe
Yes, we have
and
different.
Governor Goyeba.
I think the first
Kwara
thing,
State.
yes,
The same thing, Lai Mohammed
and
Governor Abdulrazak faction.
I think the first thing that needs to happen is that let's check the leadership of the APC now. A serving governor who is there. What is the situation of it? You have been there for so long. How have you been able to put the party together? You are already a governor that is faced a state from the northeast that is being faced with a lot of challenges. So I think there need to be somebody, they need to have one person who is going to focus on the party structure. Let's not forget that our political parties, apart from hosting elections or holding congresses, are supposed to be like an institution for training of young people when it comes to political ideas. They're supposed to be breeding ground for young people. But when our parties are just focusing on fighting here and there, then we keep seeing situations like this. The situation whereby we're giving a governor who is inmates are also trying to hold their party structures in the state. Then we'll continue to see situations like this.
Yes, but the party is backing governors.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, because now they should definitely back governors because it's the governor colleague who is the head. So in the situation, yes, it's the governor's colleague.
But if the governor colleague is not the head, let's look at it from this perspective. Is it proper for somebody who was governor and a party leader, and then you are now a former governor, and you still want to control the party? Is that proper? Because when you are governor, nobody challenge your leadership of the party.
Yes, not to be, even no matter who he is, but it should be somebody who is independent-minded of everything, not somebody who has already a very heinous tax and a very cumbersome tax of becoming a governor. Do you understand? Your state is already facing a lot of challenge. At what point in time will you be able to put your party together? And let's not forget that if the party is not together, we'll continue to see crises like this. And if we continue to see crises like this, it will affect every part of our livelihoods as Nigerians. So we need to have our political structure in set.
And their political crisis can also affect governance.
It affects
their
everything
states and even
in the
at the
states,
national
definitely.
level.
Because I don't want to say, but there was a time when it was in headlines that he said he spends 3 days in the States. Do you understand? For instance, in a situation like that, you're supposed to be focused on governance, while some other people focus on politics. These are two distinct things.
Not when the governor is the one funding the party.
Yeah,
You can't expect another person to come and be the leader. We really don't have time again.
Many thanks to Gidado Shuaib, the editor, the News Digest, and as well the organizer, Campus Journalism Award. I don't know when you invite me next.
Yes, definitely. It's happening in December 11th.
All right, many thanks to you, Shuaib, for creating time, Gidado,
Thank you
for coming to Inside Nigeria, and we hope to see
Yes.
more of you.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, we need to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Oluomo Sunday Akere, a chieftain of the All Progressive Party, All Progressive Congress, APC, in Osun State, to discuss the APC state congresses and matters arising. We'll be back shortly.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
All right, welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria on this Tuesday morning, which is an holiday morning. But we are here working. Like I said earlier, we have been joined by Oluomo Sunday Akere, a former commissioner for Information and Strategy, Osun State, and currently Special Advisor Political to Governor Gboyega Oyitola of Osun State. Good morning, Oluomo.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning, my brother. Happy Eid Malu to each and every one of us in Nigeria.
It is nice having you on Inside Nigeria here at the Leadership Television.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go straight to point, Oluomo. I don't know, your video, we can't see you.
Okay, so there's no video.
All right, let's go straight to the point. We saw what happened at the last weekend APC State Congress in Osun, and what happened in Osun is not different from what happened in some other states across the country. So let's start on a general note. Why is your party, the All Progressive Congress, which is the ruling party, why is it factionalized? Can you hear us, Oluomo? I think we are having challenges connection with Oluomo Sunday Akere, Special Advisor Political to Osun State Governor Gboyega Oyitola. I don't know, before we establish the connection back, Winifred, you saw what happened at the APC State Congresses?
Honestly.
Yeah, the dramas that play out in Osun.
Just like what you said, it has been full of factions.
Exactly, and they are the ruling party. So we saw what happened in Osun, we saw what happened in Kano, we saw what happened in Enugu,
yes,
and many other states. Even though the national leadership of the party have come out to say they will only recognize congresses where the officials from the headquarters were sent to monitor. Well, let's listen to one of the stakeholders from Osun State, Oluomo Sunday Akere. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, my sister. Can you see me now? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's go straight to business. We
Okay.
saw what happened at the last weekend APC State Congresses. A lot of dramas, factions, intrigues, and the rest. So let's start from here, Oluomo. Why is your party, the All Progressive Congress, why is it factionalized? Few months to the 2023 general election.
General election. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to appear on your television this morning. The issue of our party being factionalized is because we are the party in government, we are the party in power, we are the party where everybody at least want to have a say and have a stake. It is only something that is not good that people will not contest or contend for with you. And it is not out of place that in party politics there must be contentions, there must be intrigues, there must be rancor. But the beauty of it is that before election comes, all the intrigues, rancors, and whatever must be put to place and allowed to settle, and all of us must be focused towards the election. So what happened in Osun and some other states over the weekend is not new. At least we can see some states where they said they have about 3 or 4 chairmen, and it is because everybody wants to be part of at least what is ongoing. We will resolve our crisis or whatever before the general election comes around. Thank you.
All right, Oluomo, let's come back to the level of Osun State now. At the end of the Congress in Osun, we saw 2 results. One saying Prince Adegboyega Famodo is the chairman of APC in Osun, and another one saying Alhaji Razak Salinsile is the chairman of APC in Osun. These congresses were monitored by security agencies. So which one is the real one? Which one is the correct one?
Thank you very much for the question. The congresses, yes, you said the congresses were monitored by the security agencies. The only Congress that we had in Osun was the one we had at the Osogbo City Stadium, which was pretended over by the 7-man committee sent from the National Secretariat, headed by Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye, at which INEC representatives and from Osogbo and Abuja and all security agencies were present as umpires and observers to the process. The one The other one you are calling a Congress is not a Congress, it's more of a jamboree. You don't build something on nothing. The other man that is claiming to have emerged as chairman, they never had a World Congress. For you to be able to have a state Congress, you must have first have a World Congress where you will elect five delegates to the state Congress. In Osun, we have 332 wards. Electing five delegates to the Congress means that you have 1,660 delegates. Our brothers on the other side, they contested the World Congress, they lost out, they petitioned the National Secretariat. The National Secretariat sent an appeal committee that came to Osogbo. Out of the 31 local governments, they challenged the results in 10 local governments. In the 10 local governments, they only wrote petitions in three wards. That means that out of 332 wards, they wrote petitions in only 30 wards, which is insignificant, which is not even up to 10% of what we have on ground. And the panel that came from Abuja sat over their petition and discovered that there is no issue or there is no genuinity in the claims that they were making. In 3 of the local governments, they impersonated the party members that they wrote their names on the petition, because those people were never part of the process of writing any petition. That was Atakumasa West local government, Edenot local government, Audos local government. And when these people whose name were put on the petition confronted them in front of their people, they apologized and said that they are withdrawing their petition. The remaining 7 local governments, and when their people sat over the remaining 7 local governments, meaning 21 wards, it's why that there was no point in what they are claiming, and the thing was thrown out. That was what gave us the opportunity of preparing for the local government congress, which we also did. After the local government congress, they never did any petition, and we now prepare for the state congress. They knew very well the constitution of the party is clear. What makes a state congress is the 5 delegates per ward elected at the World Congress, the statutory delegates, that is members of the House of Assembly, past or present, members of the National Assembly, past or present, governor, local government, elected officials. All these are not on their side. They only had a jamboree, and thank God the venue they even use is a venue that we used to organize parties when we want to have the Osun festival every year. So everybody that saw them the other day thought probably they were having a naming ceremony or a marriage. So it was never a congress. The only recognized congress, the only legal congress and genuinely organized congress on Saturday in Osogbo was the one we had at the Osogbo City Stadium, where the governor, as the leader of the party, was present, and all the officials from Abuja, the umpires, INEC, and all the security agencies were present to oversee the process of the Congress. And there was no issue, no rancor, no infighting. Everything went well peacefully because we elected all the 36 officials by consensus. Affirmation.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for that explanation. So, how would your party face the 2022 governorship election as a divided house?
Thank you very much. Now that the process of the congresses are over in the state, the governor has constituted a reconciliation committee in each of the 9 federal constituencies, and the committees will start work immediately now, talking to people that are aggrieved or angry, that they should realize that we are progressives. It is only something that is not good that people will not contend for. What the arguments you people were laying claim to us, we want the party to be better organized. And I want to assure you, I want to tell the whole world that the kind of organization the present governor, Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, is putting into the party is unheard of before. We have a strong party now at the world. We have a strong party now at the local. We have a strong party at the state. So we will reach out and reconcile with those people that are feeling aggrieved. My appeal to them is to realize that we are progressives. We should not fight dirty and allow strangers to take our inheritance. We are siblings of the same brother, and we should not say because we are hungry, we will not throw the baby away with the bathwater. I know that they will all see reason and come to the table. They knew what we went through between 2003 and 2010, when we were struggling to reclaim power from the conservatives in Osun, and they knew the sufferings, the agony that quite a number of us went through then. And I know that they will not want us to express such again. Whatever is the differences, we can sit down on the table and iron them out, and that is what we are going to do now that the conferences are over. We will have started before, but we don't want anything to distract us from the process of having a well-organized Congress, an orderly Congress.
All right, you talk about reconciliation move initiated by your group of the APC, where the governor belonged. But is that not putting the cart before the horse? Because at the end of the day, what happens if the APC national leadership says it is the other faction, the Alhaji Razak Salinsile faction, that is the recognized faction of the APC in Osun? And here you
How
are.
can the Salinsile faction be the recognized faction? The constitution of the party is clear. Whoever is governor in the state is the leader of the party. When Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola was governor here for 8 years, he was our leader. We defer to him, we reference him. Now that Alhaji Boyega Oyetola is the governor, he is the leader of the party. And I am saying it that the Salinsile faction only organized a jamboree. What they did was a charade. It was never a congress. And out of the 7 officials from Abuja, none of them was with them. How can they now say Abuja will recognize them? Abuja cannot recognize them. They don't have a ward executive. They don't have a local executive. On which platform now do they want to establish their so-called state executive? It is never done. They are only trying to humor themselves and make people that are following them believe that they have serious idea.
All right, Oluomo, now that you say the Prince Boyega Famodun leadership of the APC is initiating a peace move, and it is also good that you mentioned the name of the immediate past governor of Osun State, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who is the current Minister of Interior. Now, I know for sure, yes, they are not in good. There's no love lost between the governor and the former governor Rauf Aregbesola. Some of his supporters have been arrested. You have put them on trial in Osogbo. So your peace initiative, will it capture former governor Rauf Aregbesola, or it's just a peace move?
Well, I will want to correct an insinuation. Nobody arrested any of the supporters of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. The people that were arrested knew where they were arrested. It was on the day the appeal committee came to Osogbo, they stormed the secretariat with thugs. Thugs following them macheted people wearing the face cap of the sitting governor Oyetola. And it was the people that were macheted that reported to the police with their petition and their lawyers. And they have to mention the people that brought in the talk that attacked them. So it was not anybody arrested. It was them committing criminal assault on other members of the party. And as you asked, there is no way we can do reconciliation and settlement that will exclude the former government. Because all these people that are causing crisis around now, they are claiming that they are being sent by the former governor. And I know that definitely, if you at least I know that you are conversant with what is in the papers. Last week also, the national headquarters inaugurated a reconciliation committee. I know that at the level of that committee, they will call the former governor, and at the level of the committees that the governor initiated there, he will call all his followers there and sit them around the table and settle the crisis.
Okay, so it's good that you say your peace initiative will capture Oyetola Aregbesola, given his role in your party. And remember, in 2018, the governorship election was not an easy win for your party. Aregbesola played
that is why we should appeal to him as our leader and a statesman in the state. When Ogbeni came in 2010, the first election we had in 2011, we scored 100%. When it was during 2014, our fortune dwindled to 56%. The time to do the last election to hand over to Oyetola, it dwindled to 33%. That is an assessment of performance of the party under him. And that is why he must now sit down and tell those people that are trying to cause further crisis to stop it and allow the party to be won so that we can continue to hold on to power in the state.
All right, so Oluomo, let's talk about governance in Osun State since Governor Boyega Oyetola assumed governorship of the state in the last 3 years. So what has changed in Osun under Governor Boyega Oyetola in the last 3 years? What has changed?
quite a lot have changed in Osun since Governor Itola came on board. We must give kudos and commendations to him as an astute manager of little available financial resources. He came in at a period when the debt burden of the state was humongous, and from the time he came in November 2018, he has continued to pay full salaries to the workers. We remember that before Ogbeni left, well over 15 months salaries, half salaries were being paid, well over 15 months half salaries were being held by the government, and Oyetola ensured that since he came to power, all the workers in Osun are being paid their salaries fully up to date, and even pensioners are getting their fair share. In the health sector, he organized the renovation and rehabilitation of 332 public health centers in each of the wards. There is no ward you will get to in Osun today that you will not have a health center where you can take medical check and personnel that will take care of you. He did that. He renovated the Ejibo State Hospital. He built he also ensured that road networks in Osun here in the past 20 of democratic rule since we started in 1999, we discovered that virtually ago for 20 years, which happened to be the number 3 mine in the state, they have been coming from Ede Ejibo sector of the state. The roads in those two areas have been terribly impassable for the well over 20 years. It was Governor Itola on coming now that have rehabilitated the roads and ensured that even when you went to leave Osogbo for Ejibo now, you get to wherever you are going in 20 minutes. I will give you an example. In my own town, Ibajo, in Boluwaduro, our road that was abandoned for over 35 years, he has done it now. He has done several roads in Ilesha, in Ife, in Yakoyo, Ipetumodu, Edun-Aban, Ashipa, everywhere, even in Iwo. The Osogbo road have been so much impassable, they are gradually work on it now. And that is on infrastructure. In agriculture, he has ensured that they have empowered graduates and younger farmers with assistance to start their own business. Maybe people, whatever they want to do, the government is encouraging them. And in the school system now, the governor, part of the argument our friends on the other side are saying is that the governor reverted some of the policies of Ogbeni policy. When Ogbeni himself was going, his last lab program, which is Ogbeni till daybreak, that if there are any policy of his administration that the people feel the incoming governor must look into, he is free to do that. And that was what the governor did. The issue of single school has been in Osun. It was the people that said they want to rehabilitate. The issue of having guest school, for example, Baptist Girls School here in Osogbo, when a graduate of the school was about traveling out of the country, and they look at the certificates, a man holding a certificate from a girls' school. Those are our abnormalities and irregularities which the people complained about, which Oyetola corrected. It's not that it's probably reverting the policy of Ogbeni. It was the request and agitation of the people too. And he did that one in the education sector too. And today, the teachers, everybody, they are happy around here. And quite a number. Nightlife has changed. When you go around Osogbo and the major towns, the potholes that you see, they are filled, all of them, they are full street lights. Having street lights in the major towns have increased social activity and have improved the economy of the states. Those are the things that Oyetola is doing. Currently now we are having for the first time an overhead bridge at Orita here, which is nearing completion.
Thank you, Odomo. Because of time,
he has shown that he is an astute manager of resources and is doing very well in that area, and the people are commending him for that.
All right, thank you so much. My colleague has a question for you before we wrap up this program.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for being
Thank
a part of our program. Now, there are fears that the Nancy Senator Ademola Adeleke will likely fly the PDP flag for 2022 Osun governorship election. Given the close shave that happened in 2018, are you not scared?
I want to assure you that what happened in 2018 will never happen again. There were crises in our party then. Some of us that started the party since 1998 were driven away by some forces which we don't want to start mentioning on national television. We are all back now, and I'm assuring you that on the 16th of July 2022, Alhaji Isiaka Adeboyega Oyetola will defeat whoever the PDP brings down with not less than 100,000 votes. We have a performing governor. We have a governor that the people love. We have a governor that the people knows that he understands what he is doing. It might be a silent man that doesn't make noise, but they are seeing his impact in town. Whoever the PDP feels as their candidate will be defeated with nothing less than 100,000 votes next year by the grace of God.
Oluomo Sunday, Akebele, we thank you very much for creating time to join us this morning to talk about APC and governance in Osun State. We hope to see more of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity, and I pray that you will give me opportunity like this in future again.
All right, we hope to see more here on Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. Oluomo Sunday Akere is a former commissioner for information and strategy in Osun State and currently special advisor political to Governor Boyega Oyetola. We thank you for creating time to join us this morning. Winifred, it is time to go.
Yes, it's time to go. But we've had a fruitful deliberation today on the Inside Nigeria.
Exactly, and I hope viewers will make a day with us tomorrow for another edition of Inside Nigeria tomorrow, Wednesday. From here, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158.